So here we go. The next story is Raphinha. And there is still interest. Leeds are still bracing themselves for this interest. And the stories that we have are, first of all, from Romano. And Romano is saying Tottenham are really interested in Raphinha. They are discussing with Leeds about the potential verbal proposal. Here we go. Antonio Conte is a big fan of the player. Spurs understand it's a really competitive race. I'm glad we understand that.
Yes.
And
Yes, it's helpful to know.
I love these tweets.
The insight, it's so sharp.
I'm going to read that again just so people understand it. Tottenham are really interested in Raphinha. They are discussing with Leeds about the potential verbal proposal. On Friday when I did with Bob, Leeds were bracing themselves, but now Leeds are about a potential verbal proposal.
About the possibility of maybe tabling a bid to talk about whether or not we might be interested.
Correct.
Yeah.
So Antonio Conte is a big fan of the player. Spurs understand it's a really competitive race. And then from Matteo Moretto, Arsenal are leading, the Filth are leading the race for Raphinha. There is no full agreement yet, but the parties are in constant contact and continue to get closer.
Sounds like they're organising a relationship. It's like, yeah, we've been on a couple of dates and, yeah, we seem to like each other more. We're continuing to get closer. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, what you got to worry about, and it's only like we said, it's all Twitter and it's all speculation. But the wording of ours, where we're preparing to have a brace for a potential talk, Arsenal's are there is no full agreement yet, but the parties are in constant contact and continue to get closer.
Yep.
So
it's a bit of a I mean, these are this sort of tweet is filler, right?
Yep.
Because ultimately, if a club is interested in a player, they are going to be in constant contact, and if talks are progressing, they will continue to get closer. There's no real insight or new information in there. You can take it as read, right? If your club is interested in a player, there will be continuous talks and they will get closer until it breaks down or the transfer is done, right? So these sort of tweets, I don't see the point of doing it. What are you telling us that's new? Nothing.
No,
but the point is, what do you think of Raphinha? Are you, I mean, I've seen him play for Leeds. There's some good things there. There's certainly talent there. Does he fit at Spurs?
Well, first of all, I have to say with these tweets, I think, did you used to watch Friends?
Of course.
So do you remember where Joey writes a letter for the adoption and he uses every word with the thesaurus?
Yeah.
That's what I think these people are doing. They're just saying the same words.
Just in a different way.
Exactly. Let's just get the thesaurus out and come up with new terminology.
Pretty much. Yeah.
But how do I feel? Listen, I think Raphinha is a really good player. Danny did a great show yesterday on Tottenham on Tour with Raphinha and Richarlison, and he's a huge fan. I mean, a huge fan of Richarlison. I love what Richarlison does. He's exciting. He's direct. I just think Richarlison offers a bit more across the three positions. I think Raphinha may be the better player in the right wing, but he is a right winger.
Right.
Whereas Richarlison can obviously offer more variability and play in different positions. Variability. There's a word.
Variability. Yeah.
But yeah. So the way I look at it, either one of them improve our team. There's no doubt that they don't. And I think either one that comes in will do a good job. But I'm still edging on the side of Richarlison, much to Danny's disapproval.
Can you envisage them both being signed?
No. I do. The only reason I say that is if you look at the money, we're not going to spend 120 odd million because that's what it's going to take. That 150 on two forwards. When the right wing back, we all know needs to be done.
Yeah.
Left centre back, a midfielder. Do you see both?
Well, it's not. I don't know. This is the thing. I think that Spurs have got the capacity to sign both and to sign a right wing back and a central defender, because first of all, let's talk about the 150 million, right? Again, I tried to forewarn, but obviously I'm only a single voice. It's not 150 million all to be used on transfers.
Yep.
We've said it time and again, but again, people just don't seem to want to listen. It's £150 million realised by the club through a share purchase. That 150 million could come at any point before the end of the year, not necessarily this summer. And the statement quite categorically said it would be used for deals on and off the pitch, right?
Correct.
So tell me how a player purchase or transfers counts as off the pitch. It doesn't, all right? The point you've got to bear in mind, the important thing is that Spurs are a club with around a £300 million a year turnover. Okay, Arsenal have a similar turnover to us. They've spent £250 million over the last 2 seasons on players. So if they can do it, we can do it. So don't worry about the 150 million.
True.
Right? If Richarlison's 60 million, we can afford it. If Raphinha's 60 million as well, let's say 50, he's a bit cheaper.
Yep.
Let's say 110 million, we can afford that. If we then want to spend another 60 million on a defender, we can afford that. If we want to spend another 50 million on a right wing back, we can afford that.
Yep.
Right? This is the big, this is the sort of big hoodwink that's gone on. The Spurs are some kind of, in this situation where they've got no money. Bollocks. They've got money. We've got money. We can spend it. So for me, if I'm quite happy to say, yeah, get them both in, Richarlison and Raphinha, because we can afford it.
So there's 2 comments I want to bring up. First of all, Ben, the Coffee Man
Hey!
Kaufman, member for 11 months. Well done, Ben. And he's just said, oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
But then I wanted to bring up, there was a comment, and I'm going to find it by a guy called Paul. There it is. So he goes, I'm not a fan, but Richarlison fits what we need better, and Raphinha fits what Arsenal need better. And I think he's right.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's the way to look at it. What we've got to remember as well is we may not like the player.
No.
You may not like the player. Everyone watching. But if Conte likes that player,
Yep.
then it's fair play. We know this, and let's just hope this all resolves itself soon.
Absolutely.
I've got a funny feeling deals are going to get done whilst I'm in the air tomorrow. It's like that's what he'd do, wouldn't he?
Doing an Alistair Gold.
Yeah,
whenever
he would.
you leave.
He'd just do it. He probably knows that I'm going to. I'm flying tomorrow. It's like, right, let's start doing stuff.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so that's where we are with Raphinha. There's a lot of comments going in about Raphinha and Richarlison. Let's just hope one of these. But like the base said to me, these two we've been constantly linked with, and if you look at the 3 players we have been gone and got, we haven't been linked with a single one of them until bang, we're interested, bang, it's done. So, this could be the biggest wool over our eyes, and something's going on over there.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see when it comes to Richarlison, Raphinha. Wait, I've just got another thing sent to me by Alistair Gold. Okay, Spurs have now drawn down 100 million of their first chunk of the unit cash injection to put towards the summer transfer. So yeah, he said that.
That broke yesterday.
That broke yesterday. It did indeed. Or no, it broke Saturday. Saturday it broke.
Saturday, right?
Saturday it broke. So the next one that we've got to talk about is Steven Bergwijn. Imminent.
Yes.
So this does look like it's gathering pace. I was watching Sky Sports News this morning, and we have 2 quotes here. First of all, from Fabrizio Romano.
Okay.
Which is saying new direct talks will take place this week between Ajax and Tottenham over Steven Bergwijn. And then from ADNL, Ajax and Tottenham have already agreed the fixed fee of the transfer, which will be 25 million euros for Bergwijn. Spurs want to present a new player before his exit, however.
Really? We do we? Okay. Because that happens all the time. That's what we do. That's how we act. I mean, no one's going to listen. There'll be 1 or 2 people who'll be very sorry for Bergwijn to leave. And I can understand that. Yes, by all means, he's got talent. Hasn't really had a fair rub of the green, if you like, at Spurs. That's arguable, absolutely. But there's not going to be that much noise that Spurs would want to sort of mitigate the despair of seeing Stevie B leave by presenting another player, I don't know. I'm happy that he's got his move. He doesn't want to be here anymore. I can understand why he doesn't want to be here anymore, because he's not getting first team football. Fine. Let him go back to Ajax and restart his career. I wish him nothing but luck.
Exactly. I mean, he's a player that I really like. I'm upset that it hasn't worked out for him. But I'm also upset the way he's handling things over the last few weeks. Hasn't covered himself in glory, so to speak. But it's a move that I think both the club and the player need. And when it comes to parading, the only thing I will say is, thank God, I can't remember. It used to be get them out, then we get the replacement in.
Absolutely.
So that would be a change in the way we've operated, which will be a good sign. But yeah, this deal's going to come to a head. I think that Ajax are about to new talks. I was hearing say they're getting money somewhere. There's a player leaving Ajax very, very shortly, so they're going to have funds available to say, right, here we go, let's get this done. So who knows? This one might get done this week.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, I think before the transfer window opened, if you said what one transfer in or out can you pretty much have nailed on, I think it was Stevie B leaving.
Yep.
Because it was even before the season ended that all the talk was, look, I want to go. To be honest, I'm surprised it's taken this long, if I'm being honest. I thought it would have been done much earlier. And I know we're only a couple of weeks into the transfer window, but I thought they would have had it all agreed and done and dusted before the season ended. Good luck to him. That's fine. It was an experiment that didn't work.
Yeah, and the other thing we've got to look at, and I've completely forgot about. Oh yeah, outgoings. It's about time we had some outgoings to clear some space, to clear some room for incomings. Because as much as we all want the incomings, we've got to look at. We need to get rid of some players and balance. What you could say, balance the books, but also just get rid of players that aren't going to figure.
Absolutely.
And replace them with quality.
Yeah.
So hopefully
the squad has been stagnant for so long. I know we've had players come in, but there've been players there that have been there for a long time. You know, actually, weirdly, Steven Bergwijn isn't one of them. But in a way, his transfer out would produce a lot of a sort of refreshing feel. It's like we're no longer gonna stick by our investment if it's not providing a return, if you want to use financial terms, you know? He's not delivered for whatever reason. I'm not saying it's his fault, but he hasn't delivered. The relationship isn't working. It was like Dele Alli, time for him to go. A bit like Harry Winks as well, I think.
Yeah, you're right. And just to that, I'm just trying to keep on top of Super Chats so we don't get smothered by them. We've got one from Dan COYS. Shout out to Rez and Brian. Good stream, guys. Covering you Spurs. Thank you very much
buddy.
indeed, Dan. And then we just got a members chat in, which is from Scorpions Fan for Life. This guy's a top dude. He's a great supporter of all channels. Is there really a 30 million difference between Stevie and Richarlison and Raphinha? Does more playing time really add so much value? Whoever takes Stevie will get a bargain.
No, that's
great comment.
It is, but it's about, look, if you go into a shop to buy a Mars bar, right, and that shop wants to sell it to you for, say, 75p, right, then you walk along and you go to another shop and you walk in and you want to buy a Galaxy bar, and they want to charge you £2, right? That doesn't mean that the Galaxy bar is worth £2. It also doesn't mean that the Mars bar is worth 75p. The price is set by whoever sells it. Yeah. Richarlison is not worth £60 million, but he will cost £60 million. Let's say that's the price, because that's the price that Everton want. Everton don't have to sell to us. They don't have to sell to anyone. So when they say we want 60 million, that's what they want. They're not saying the player is worth 60 million. They're saying that's how much we want, because you've got to add in what they lose. They've valued what they lose by getting rid of the player at 60 million, not that the player themselves is worth 60 million. So it's not a comparison that is really, it's not going to gain you any benefit to sort of look at that and say, well, Bergwijn is worth this or that or the other. It's how much we're willing to accept for him. And it's refreshing because, 25 million is quite a low price, but we're willing to get it because maybe, hopefully, please, dear God, let it be a case of we've changed our attitude.
This is something I was saying at the beginning, that will be a key sign. If we start getting rid of some players that don't have a future with Conte, and we don't charge the ridiculous over the price odds to get the player out, it's a big sign.
Absolutely. And we've been crying out for this. We've got to start operating differently. Okay, we can't continue the way that we have been for the last however many years it is. We've got to understand that the analogy I use is that the footballing side of a club is a black hole into which money disappears. If occasionally money comes back out of it, that's a bonus. but you shouldn't be thinking of it as some kind of long-term investment that you're going to realize profit from later. Just, you've got to keep pouring money in. Hopefully that attitude or that thought might be percolating into the minds of the hierarchy at Spurs, because that's what we desperately need.
Correct. And like you said, like you started, I'll end this segment with saying, I wish Bergwijn nothing but success, apart from if he plays England in a World Cup or Euros, then not or Tottenham in the Champions League.
Yep.